Okay, today we're going to talk about the management server agent of the BlueSky backup client version 12. Uh, the management agent is a new feature in version 12 of the software that takes some of the burden away from the end user. It used to be in the past if we're managing an account for a client and we needed to do some troubleshooting to see what was going on with the backup client, we would have to contact the end user. We'd have to have them set up some kind of a remote connection, a GoToMeeting, a PC Anywhere type of thing. We have to log into their machine, launch the client, and then troubleshoot from there. Um, this caused a bit of problem for the client who just wants to use their PC to do their job. So one of the things that is new in this version is the ability for us to manage the backup client remotely. Um, uh, right off the bat, this is an optional feature. It's not something that is enabled by default. It is disabled by default. So there's no chance of us doing something that the customer, that the end user is not actually aware of. This has to be enabled. And it really helps us out. We can schedule jobs. We can select files to be backed up. We can look at the logs. We can arrange email notifications to be sent. We can do a lot of the functionality that the client software can do, only we can do it from our end, and the end user, the actual customer, um, can get on with their business with, and rest assured that we've got it backing up and working on our end, and we can eliminate a lot of the times where we would have to bother them and take them away from their job. Um, this again is by default is disabled. If you are going to be installing um, the backup client, you can see when you're walking through the initial wizard, you'll get to a screen that says Management Server Agent Service. If you want to take advantage of this when you're installing it, clicking Enable here will start the service and set the service to automatically start when the computer boots, so that we'll be able to manage it remotely. Um, you can disable this at any time down the road if you decide that it's not working, or maybe it's causing a problem in a certain case, or if you just decide that you um, don't want to take advantage of it. You can disable the service, and we'll walk through that in just a second. If you do not enable this when you install the client, we can always go back in and enable it at any point during the future. If you choose to enable it when you're installing the client, you can leave the public server address and the port number alone. You don't have to put anything in here. The backup client itself, will actually go out and pull this information from the server and populate this data for you. So you don't have to type anything in here. You can leave it with the default. That will be self-corrected. So to recap, if you uncheck that, it's not going to automatically start the service for you. And this again is the backup client agent service. It's a different service than the backup service. And if you have any questions on that, please give us a call. But this is how you would do it when you're initially installing the software. If you have already installed the software and you didn't take advantage of this, then we can go into the services um, applet of Windows, whether it be Windows 7, Vista, or XP. And you get there through Control Panel. I think it's Administrative Tools and then Services. And the service that we're looking for is called the Backup Client Agent Service, and it's right here. You can double click on this. It will open up a window and let you select whether you want to start it automatically at startup, if you want it disabled, or if you want it to be manual. I would recommend having it set on either automatic or disabled. If you don't want to take advantage of it, set it to disabled. If you want to take advantage of the service, just set it for automatic. On Windows 7, we've got the delayed start. It may have been in Vista as well. If you're running an XP machine, then you won't have this delayed start option. But again, disable it or set it to automatic. In my case, I've got it set to automatic, and it starts when the computer does. If it's not started, you can right click on it and highlight start, and that will start the service. Again, I'd recommend that you either set it to automatic so it's going to run all the time, or set it to disable where it won't run at all, because that's how you would start the service or stop the service if at a later time you change your mind. Going into the backup client, you launch the BlueSky backup client, select the Home tab and click on Default Setting. that will open a window, and then you can select the Management Server tab. This is where the client will actually go out and poll our servers and bring back the information that we saw in this other when we were doing the installation. Again, I left this at mydomain.com, and when the backup server service connected, it populated it with the appropriate URL and port number. A couple things for network administrators to keep in mind. There is no need to forward any ports or to make any changes in your firewall in order for this to work. The client initiates the communication with the server and everything will typically work. That's assuming that your firewall is not set up to block most ports. If you're in a situation where you're only allowing out known ports like HTTP, SSL, SMTP, if you're only allowing those ports out and you've got everything else locked down, then you're going to need to do some edits to the firewall rules to allow this to get out. And again, it's port 4502. Again, if you've got a plain vanilla network and you haven't really locked it down, you're not going to have to worry about any kind of firewall communication. It should work right out of the box. If you have any questions on it, please feel free to give us a call and let us know. I can't think of anything else to mention about that service. Again, it's a pretty handy thing. It lets us manage the client from our end without actually bothering the client when we need to check things or set up backup schedules. It's quite handy. If you'd like to get more information on it, please feel free to give us a call, ask us questions. Always glad to help. Hope you learned something from this video. We'll see you.